Despite being a player that has been synonymous with Real Madrid for more than a decade, there is a legitimate chance that club captain Sergio Ramos could be leaving the Spanish Giants once his contract is up this summer. What do you think? Will Ramos stay or go somewhere else after what will be 16 years with Real Madrid? By the way, I'm Adrian and welcome to Rabona TV. Be sure to subscribe if you're new and are feeling the channel so you can find your way back much more easily. So, there's been plenty of chatter surrounding Sergio Ramos, whether he'll sign a contract and his purported interest in moving abroad, perhaps to France. So let's comb through all of the information we have, look at Ramos' alleged stance, how Real Madrid's financial situation due to the pandemic is affecting things, and much more. Speaking of much more, OneFootball brings you so much more than your average football app, and they've kindly sponsored this video. Thank you, OneFootball. OneFootball brings you the fastest breaking news surrounding the players, teams, and competitions you care about, all of which you can follow within the app to custom tailor your news feed. Plus, you can watch videos and highlights, even stream some matches from certain leagues in Germany, or simply follow along with OneFootball's in-depth match trackers while you're on the go. Plus, follow the January transfer market with their transfer rumor raters, and so much more. Use the link in the description for a free download on Android or iOS, and you'll support my channel in the process. Now, let's get into the video. Before we can get into Sergio Ramos and why contract negotiations between himself and Real Madrid have hit a major stumbling block, the financial context at the club is very important. The COVID-19 pandemic has touched everything, including your favorite football teams, some to devastating degrees and others to, marginal degrees. Teams that were on a hot streak of annual profits were either hit with losses or drastically less profit than usual, as sponsorship payments weren't fulfilled or broadcast deals were slashed, and the lack of matchday profits really left their mark as well. According to a club statement from Real Madrid, the impact of COVID-19 has led to a reduction in income of minus 13%, minus 106 million euros, and once the costs directly associated with said income, 16 million euros, have been discounted, represents a loss of minus 91 million euros caused by COVID-19 in the 2019-20 financial year. And what does that mean as far as the overall effect on their balance sheet? According to the same statement, the club states that their economic balance was a profit of about 300,000 euros. In order to even make that number, the 300,000 euro balance, they had to agree to a 10% wage reduction for all of the players and coaches of the Real Madrid football and basketball teams. With this, and keeping in consideration the ongoing effect that the pandemic will continue to have on the club's finances during the 2020-2021 season, their operating budget for this season has been reduced by about 25%, and thus further cuts must be made. And with certain players making upwards of 10 million euros annually, well, you can see how lowering their wage budget has become a top priority. While Sergio Ramos is the biggest name that could be leaving the club come the summer of 2021, he's not the only one whose Real Madrid future is up in the air at the moment. First of all, there's the absolute disaster that the Luka Jovic signing has been, constantly injured or constantly out of favor. Whichever way you'd like to look at it, Luka Jovic's Real Madrid stint has been a bust, and apparently the third most expensive signing of the past decade at Real Madrid is being asked to accept offers from other clubs in order to recoup some cash. The latest, he's been offered out to Eintracht Frankfurt on loan, going back to his old club, offered to Man United, etc. This past summer, we saw Gareth Bale move, though his loan deal will see Real Madrid still pay 50% of his gargantuan salary, but that's still a benefit to their balance sheet. Then there is Luka Modric, who according to the publications AS and Marca, is happy to accept the wage that has been offered to him, and his contract extension will be announced soon, keeping him at the club until June of 2022. At least that's what's believed to happen, you never know. But then there are two players that are constantly coming up with a shade more doubt surrounding their future with Los Blancos. Lucas Vazquez, and more prominently, Sergio Ramos, of course. As for Vazquez, who is arguably having one of his best seasons for Real Madrid, he apparently rejected a contract renewal offer last week. According to Libertad Digital's Sergio Valentin, it was simply a matter of the wages that were offered to the player and how he felt it was unfair that he is paid less than players that have been at the club for a shorter period of time and have a lesser role within the squad. For example, apparently with the wages that were offered to Vazquez to sign on, who has become an important player down the right flank, either as a winger or a substitute right back this season, he would be earning less than Mariano Diaz. Part of the reason as to why they can't offer these larger wages to their current crop of players is that Real Madrid are allegedly planning on making some big signings in the summer of 2021, with Eduardo Camavinga and Kylian Mbappe believed to be in their sights, according to Marco Ruiz of AS. Ruiz also says that the players claim that if there is money in the coffers for new acquisitions, then there is no need for the squad to take a salary hit. I mean, fair enough. Will they find a middle ground? We'll have to see, but the financial issues that Real Madrid have may dictate their decisions, even when it comes to club captain and icon Sergio Ramos. As I've just mentioned, the financial issues could force Sergio Ramos, who's been with the club for going on 16 years now, to consider his Real Madrid future. There are a few moving parts here to consider, so let's go over those now. First off, Real Madrid has a fairly strict policy when it comes to the length of contract that they offer players over 30 years old. Anyone above that age will only ever get a 1-year contract extension on their contract. This protects the club, as if their aging players start to run into the expected recurring injuries that come along with aging, they aren't stuck in a long-term deal with an injury-prone older player on massive wages. This is apparently one of the points of contention for Ramos, as he wants to be the exception to the rule and apparently is holding out for a 2-year deal. He's smart to do so, considering he's 34 years old, and with every year that passes, the wages he can demand, his value if you want, and that clubs will be willing to pay will only decrease. If he can lock himself into a high wage with a 2-year guarantee, that would be ideal for someone at 34 years old. There are some reports that Real are willing to give in to him on this 2-year contract, but that wage brings to light the other aspects of this. Real Madrid would of course ask for him to take a slight reduction on his €12 million per year salary, something that he is allegedly unwilling to do. In fact, he is apparently seeking a pay raise in order for him to stay with Real Madrid. So, as of now, apparently the terms that Sergio Ramos is seeking from Real Madrid is a raise on his €12 million per year wage and a contract for 2 years as opposed to the 1-year contract they offer players over 30. He's asking for an exception, both in annual amount, given Real Madrid is asking their players to take a pay cut, not looking to hand out pay increases, and looking for an exception on the length of his contract. And I mean, for all he's done for the club, you can say he's right to ask for it. Or you may fall into the camp that thinks that the club has done just as much for him as he has done for them, and they are right to ask him to take a cut to help them out during this exceptional year. I can see it both ways, really. But ultimately, the decision comes down to Sergio Ramos, and apparently he's playing some hardball with Florentino Perez. Well, I guess both sides aren't really making any concessions, at the moment at least. And if you believe what was said on El Chiringuito, then it seems more likely that Sergio Ramos is considering his future away from Real Madrid. Apparently, during a conversation at a hotel in Elche prior to Real Madrid's match against Elche, Sergio Ramos and Florentino Perez spoke, from which Sergio Ramos said that he is going to listen to offers from other clubs. Apparently, he was welcome to PSG, as PSG are apparently wanting to sign both Sergio Ramos and Lionel Messi on a free next summer to build a Champions League-worthy squad for Mauricio Pochettino. Then, there are reports that Cristiano Ronaldo has told Juve to sign Ramos. Pep Guardiola apparently wants him at Manchester City, though their defensive deficiencies seem to have been sorted out already between Stones and Ruben Dias. I mean, find me a club that hasn't been linked with Sergio Ramos lately. And rightfully so, he's an excellent defender. So we will soon see whether the news that is being leaked to the media is just hardball from both the Real Madrid camp and the Sergio Ramos camp. Would I be surprised if he gets the deal that he wants at Real Madrid? No. Would it be surprising if he left Real Madrid? Yes, but only because he has been with the club for so long, not because of the wages or a new challenge that he could be seeking. I thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you're new to Rabona TV. My name's Adrian. I love ya and take care.